It does.
Yeah, had to put that long beep in there at the end. Blame me for that. Blame Lee Greenwood, he's saying.
I love that. Great points you make with those parodies, and it kind of lightens up some very serious issues for us.
I'm sure all the people who watch State Senator Ernie Chambers' show are really going to be kicked out.
Okay, let's go on to the Unicameral. Chairman of committee elections were recently taken place. Most of the seats that the Dems ran for went unopposed by Republicans. Scott, what is your take on that?
What Republicans? What true conservatives? You know, it's funny. People always look at Nebraska and go, well, this state of Nebraska is as red as Susan Smith's lovely dress tonight. So obviously it's a real conservative state. Where? In Omaha? In Lincoln? I mean, you can't even get the Republican state senators who are elected to our unicameral to stand up against State Senator Ernie Chambers or some of these other very liberal people who have manipulated the unicameral into their little Democratic plaything. You know, I've always felt that these Democrats who do get elected in Nebraska, they're not doing it to represent some constituents or further the needs of their community. I think they're doing it to punish some of the Republican voters in this state, because look at the ideas they come up with every year. You can't have your kid go tanning. You can't drink soda pop. No toys and Happy Meals. I mean, some of these ideas are so ludicrous and nanny statist that they run against all common sense. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Let's try and get some common sense legislation out of this unicameral. But for the Republicans to lay down and let all the different Heath Mellows in this legislature get points of prominence, who are now having to work with the governor on budgets, for example, I don't see how that represents this state.
I don't see how it does either. And, you know, if we go back to the Democratic convention, people, you know, conservatives should really be concerned about this and on their senators' phones, because look at the Democratic convention when they were booing God and Jews.
Yeah. And people didn't feel, I mean, I played the whole 2.5-minute clip, and what happened there was the Democrats were trying to add to their party platform standing with Israel, and Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, and standing with, putting God into their party platform, because God was taken out, Jerusalem was taken out, so they were trying to put these things back in there. And the vote they used to put that in there, it was overwhelming. There was a voice vote from the floor, and the voice vote was overwhelmingly, no, we're not going to put Jerusalem in there, we're not going to put God in there. And so people said, no, they were, and even though it was, the nays were overwhelming to the yays on this one, the rules leader for the Democratic Party says, well, I'm making my decision, we're going to put it in there too, which caused more booing. And people said, no, they were booing the process. All right, you can argue they were booing the process, but it was the process to put attention towards Israel and Jews and God into the party platform. The whole thing was booed. I thought that was really sad. Now,
we know what that booing was about, and again, conservatives need to be concerned. And I'm sure a lot of them are feeling a little bit slapped in the face, too. Now, let's start. You brought up Senator Ernie Chambers.
God bless him. I'm a big fan of Ernie Chambers. Well, not as much since he stepped on all over America's heroes a few years ago by saying the true heroes were the ones who took down the Navy SEALs, not the Navy SEALs that took out bin Laden. But other than his crazy views, which I can only account for just there must be something about cut-off sweatshirts, because he's nuts. Brian Belichick, the coach of the Patriots, he's got a crazy look in his eyes, so it's got to be cut-off sweatshirts. But other than that, Ernie Chambers has provided a lot of entertainment for me and other people over the years. And the guy speaks his mind. You always know where he is. I respect that about him.
Well, but what I don't respect is the fact that a racist, an anti-white, an anti-American who goes off on these subjects every week after week, got elected as a legislator. Now, if that were any white man talking about black people the way he talks about white people, that would never happen.
Well, of course, but here's the dirty secret on State Senator Ernie Chambers. He likes white people. He gets along with white people. He has good relationships with white people. And he has slept in the homes of fellow state senators over the years.
Oh, no, I disagree.
And he's told them, look, you just can't say anything about this. It would ruin my reputation.
Well, that's right.
He has had good relationships with people over the years, but he's got his whole image and facade. He's out there fighting the man every day, but behind the scenes, he gets along pretty good with people. He won't tell you that.
Oh, it's a facade. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, you know, now that Ernie Chambers is back out there, you know, every week he talks about, oh, the shootings and the violence, and it's Whitey's fault, and that's how they get. But now we have several pieces of legislation, serious, that are going to try and clamp down on this. And he's saying, no, we don't want to stop the furloughs. We don't. So he says that he wants help, but then his actions tell me a different story. But with Ernie up there, guaranteed that there might be a whole lot more coming out to benefits and services for illegal aliens and those who have learned how to rope and dope the system, the welfare system. So let's just go ahead and play one more of Scott's political parodies called Oh Warren.
Oh, Warren, won't you buy me a brand new Ford truck? My friends all drive Chevys, my old car just sucks. Worked hard all my lifetime, just can't make a buck. So, oh, Warren, won't you buy me a brand new Ford truck? Oh, Warren, won't you buy me a plasma TV? Deal or no deal is trying to find me. I want to watch Oprah and Grey's Anatomy. So, oh, Warren, won't you buy me a plasma TV? Oh, Warren, won't you buy me a steak at Go Rats? My stomach is empty, your wallet is fat. Prove that you love me and pick up the check. So, oh, Warren, won't you buy me a steak at Go Rats? Everybody! Oh, Warren, won't you buy me a brand new Ford truck? My friends all drive Chevys, my old car just sucks. Worked hard all my lifetime, just can't make a buck. So, oh, Warren, won't you buy me a brand new Ford truck? Well, that's it.
Scott, now I'm not sure if that's my favorite one or not, but it's real close.
That song is about every time that someone needs to pay for something, new stadium, a new cultural center, you know, something going on there. Someone always says, and he calls my program and says, let Warren pay for it. So, with apologies to Janis Joplin, who I adore, that's a response to that.
Okay, well that's a great. Okay, now let's move on to gun restriction. The Des Moines Register had an opinion piece in there where they called gun owners and the NRA terrorists, and in fact suggested that gun owners should be tied to the back of a truck and drugged through the streets.
Well, it's a good thing we have gun owners who would stop that kind of thing.
Great point. Hey, hold on to those guns. You see what I'm saying? Okay, and then there was the Iowa rep, Mulbauer, who is going to put in legislation banning all guns and going to make it retroactive so that the police can go and collect lawfully owned guns by residents.
I'm all for it. I'm 100% in favor. If that state legislator, if he can guarantee me that he's also going to be able to take guns away from the criminals who haven't done the background checks, who haven't applied for the permits, who haven't gone through the training, and intend to get these guns to commit illegal acts, if he can guarantee he's going to get guns away from them too, great.
But we know he's not going to be able to do that.
Get him to admit that he can do that, and then I'm on board for the rest of the stuff. Let's do that. And these people that say no one should own guns, great. How are you going to take guns away from these criminals who are untracked and haven't given a hoot about any other laws that you've passed along the way? It's already illegal to shoot someone. But to have more laws in place to keep someone who is law-abiding and has the wherewithal to protect him or herself and their property and their family and other people, and to put more laws that would restrain that kind of good activity, to deal with people who haven't followed any laws to this point, I think is ludicrous.
Well, and you know, a lot of people, more people are killed by drunk drivers, but no one's clamoring to ban vehicles, and look at how many abortions are committed, and of course, but that's legal to abort a little fetus. No one's clamoring to, well, there's a lot of people trying to get that Roe versus Wade overturned.
Yeah, but you don't see members of legislators or even Congress, even when you have conservatives, alleged, pro-life people in majority there, you don't see them looking to do that either, which is a shame. Okay,
so now there was a newspaper in New York who printed the residences and had provided a map of all the lawfully owned gun owners in that district. And now one of the couples that were listed on that map have been robbed of their guns.
We said as soon as we saw this newspaper in New York put the map up there with here are all the people who are gun owners in your county. Here's where they all live. So if I'm a criminal, I'm going to go to the houses that don't have guns. Yes. It's just a field day. It's easy pickings there, and that's apparently what someone did. And also, my father, when I was a little kid, had a great collection of guns, and he still bemoans to this day that someone broke into his apartment and stole all of his gun collection. You just told people who want to possess illegal guns where all the guns are, and just to watch those houses when people go on vacation and go in there and get more illegal guns. This idea from this newspaper was asinine on so many levels. I can't understand where someone who has the mental capacity to get out of bed every day and put pants on and drive to work would think that this was a good idea. They did.
I don't either. And of course you don't.
All fired up.
You don't see the ACLU jumping to bring a class action suit on behalf of those people's names and residents who were printed either. So now we're going to go to a political parody of Obama's black, Biden's white.
Obama's black, Joe Biden's white. Together they run to beat the right. A snobby black, a pompous white. The whole world looks upon the sight of frightening sight. And these two dolts, they have a plan, not to govern, but rule the land, rule the land. A real clean black, a big mouth white, will tax you by day and tax you by night. A Marxist black, a socialist white, together the state will reach.
Well, so there you have it, Scott. They're let's say Obama and Biden clamoring to take control of the right and push us right out of the way. Your song hit it right on the head.
I didn't sing that one. I'll let someone else do that.
Oh, well, it still sounded good. Still tells a story.
Because I didn't sing.
All right. Well, we're getting up to the end of the show, and Scott, you've got a gourmet club. Why don't you tell us about that and when the next one is?
Well, we had the last one last night. Railcard 144th and Blondo hosted us, and the idea behind the 1110 KFAB Gourmet Club is to get people from KFAB Nation into a restaurant, or maybe they haven't eaten. They have a multiple course meal at a reduced rate, and everyone sits there with the only link they have with the other people in attendance is they all listen to the radio station, they're talking politics, they're enjoying the food, they're having a good time. So the next one is always just a few weeks away, so we haven't announced the next one yet, but that's coming up real soon.
Okay, well, Scott, thank you so much for being my first guest on my show. I really appreciate it. A day without listening to your show is like a day without sunshine to me.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead. Again, the articles, video links, links to Scott's political parodies are up on my website, thesusansmithshow.wordpress.com. And we're going to phase out the show with Scott's parody for, and this goes out to anyone out there who has the flu. Who let the hogs out? See you next week.
Who let the hogs out? Who let the hogs out? Who let the hogs out? We went to spring break, the party was jumping. And everybody was having a ball. Then I started to feel like candy.
And ran like mad to the bedroom stall. Now everybody's wondering, who let the hogs out? 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 Should know better not to go drinking. Guys who bathe in big food. Now I'm home and contagious. Back in America with the swine flu. Now Obama's asking, who let the hogs out? 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 Hey, I wish that I hadn't gone to Mexico now.
Don't go to Mexico, don't go to Mexico.
I'm puking my guts out and it's cause of some stuff.
Don't go to Mexico, don't go to Mexico.
Who let the hogs out? 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 Oh, I feel sick. I must go lie down.